Good evening. My name is Richard Bergen, and as we as a class embark on the road to becoming leaders, there's a lot we must learn about ourselves and the type of leaders we will become in the future. To help us guide us along the way, we will be introduced to a variety of leadership theories. Tonight we will discuss 4 of these particular theories. The first being the contingency leadership theory. The contingency leadership theory states that leaders' effectiveness is contingent upon how his or her leadership style matches a particular situation. In essence, the leader must know the style of leadership in which they strive. Fiedler believes that leadership style is reflective of one's personality and behavior. To explain what that means, the leader should not change their particular style, but rather the context of the job. Ultimately, the more control the leader has, the more favorable the situation for the leader. A major criticism in the contingency theory is that many feel it is easier to change your style as opposed to the job context. The next theory that we will look at is the continuum theory. The thought process here is that leadership is on a continuum from boss-centered to employee-centered. The primary focus here is who is making the decisions. Tannenbaum and Schmidt argue that the basis should be forces in the boss, forces in the employees, and the situation itself. A major fault seen within the continuum theory is that there is no clear leadership style or a time in which to use it is ever identified. The next theory that we're going to look at is the path-goal leadership theory. House and Mitchell argue that this theory is based on the leader's style or behavior that best matches the employees and work environment in order to achieve the goal. The overall goal is to keep employees motivated with feelings of empowerment, which leads to increased productivity and goal achievement. The path-goal theory, much like goal setting, is to keep the motivation and productivity high. A criticism seen here in the path-goal theory is that at times it is hard to determine which style to use and when. Lastly, we move on to leadership substitutes theory. Kerr and Germier argue that under certain circumstances, situational factors may substitute for leadership. Also, there can be situational factors that can actually neutralize leadership. An example of this would be a situation where the leader has no formal power to make changes or provide resources. A strength of this theory is the emphasis on understanding the context in which the leadership occurs. A major criticism here is that behavior of the formal leader can be replaced by similar behaviors of colleagues or an informal leader. Even though these descriptions may have been brief in their presentation, in looking at the 4, the one that I have been exposed to throughout my teaching career has been the path-goal leadership theory. I say this because the school in which I currently teach at, our administration presents the staff with particular goals that they would like to see the school achieve. In doing so, they give the staff members the ability to adjust and make changes to the process as they deem necessary. The administration team has full confidence in us simply because they understand the fact that we as the classroom teachers know how our students work best, especially within the special needs population. So when we are presented with these objectives, the administration and supervisors will delegate the specific goal they want to see accomplished, and then they allow the staff members to work within their context area and in their department and devise strategies and tactics to employ in order to achieve these goals. Many times throughout the process, there may be a change, not in leadership, but in the approach in which the objective is being met. Now, that does not mean every single time a goal is presented to the staff, we achieve it 100% on the first go-around. There are instances of trial and error, but because we tend to follow the goal setting and the path goal theory, everyone's motivation is held high simply because they have a vested interest in achieving the goal. So it's a combination of all the stakeholders being actively involved in the process start to finish and being able to voice our opinions, our concerns, and or issues we may have in achieving certain goals or implementing certain strategies in order to achieve a goal. With that said, there have been instances where we experienced different types of leadership and the feelings were not the same as they are when we have a leadership that feeds us the path goal theory. So in moving forward, while I know I'm going to be exposed to other types of theories and leadership styles, the one that I am leaning more towards implementing with my staff when I become a leader in the future is a path goal leadership theory. Now, that does not mean that that's the one I'm going to use for the rest of my career, because it may change over time. But for now, that's my presentation. Thank you.